I am Melissa P. Dunn, CEO of MD Marketing Network and founder of this DunnWisdom movement. Now, you know, I love to introduce you to people who are getting things done, particularly women who are using their gifts for good, right? Women who are not only doing good, but they're making money in the process. My guest today is one of my all-time favorite people. Not only is she a very kind and generous, bright light in the world, but she's also a mother, a wife, and a very conscious businesswoman who is really using her gifts to transform lives. She's actually one of my very first guests when we started the DunnWisdom Morning Show. If you recall, we started the show in the midst, well, actually at the very beginning of the pandemic as a way to stay connected and keep me busy. And so I invited her to come back to talk about what's happened in her life in the past year. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Michelle Fletcher, health coach and health advocate. Hey, Michelle.
Hello. Feels so good to
Welcome,
be back a year later. Thank
Man, so much has happened in the past year. But before we get there, would you mind reintroducing yourself to my audience, those perhaps who did not see your first episode? Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Sure. Thank you for the amazing introduction you already gave. But like she said, my name is Michelle Fletcher. I actually am a former IT professional, worked in the corporate world for over 10 years, and then I had to pivot. Back when the recession of 2008 hit, I lost my job, and something that I've always been passionate about, which is health and fitness and wellness, came to the forefront. And so I started a business maybe a year after not having a job, and it has grown now into something really amazing. I get to inspire healthy living around the world. I have developed leaders under me that also do the same. And so it's been amazing to be able to use my passion in such a great way and see changes happening with people all the time with their health. And that's just through simple changes in their nutrition. So I offer simple solutions. And I've partnered with the Juice Plus and Tower Garden Company to offer that. And it's just been an amazing journey.
So I remember when we first started talking in the beginning of the pandemic that, like tell us where you were in your life and your career 1 year ago.
Wow. So a year ago, I was kind of a little bit stuck in my business. When we did the episode we did last year, I was in a place where, I had created a decent sized business, but I wasn't where I wanted to be. And within months, things just really took off. Like, it was a combination of so many factors. The fact that I had been consistent over so many years, sharing this information, just building relationships with people. But then also, the pandemic did play into it, and people were looking for solutions, and they knew that I was a resource for that. And so, everything just came together perfectly, and it really took me to another level to where I more than doubled my business last year, which was incredible because I know a lot of people were struggling last year, but we just saw a lot of growth, and that was truly incredible.
Wow, your business. That's amazing. Hey, good morning. Good morning. So I'm assuming that user is watching from our Women Getting It Done group. Hey, Miss Tina, good morning to you. So I know the pandemic played a part in, they say that when people are ready, the solution and the teachers show up, right? And with the pandemic, a lot of people were being more health conscious. And so, but I think it's a little bit more than that, Michelle. I'm guessing that part of it was not only your consistency and the fact that people trust and like you, but your own mindset. Like, how did you go from what happened inside of you internally that allowed you to pivot?
Oh, so, that is such a really good question, because I always felt that I've had a very strong mindset, and that has allowed me to stick with what I have done for the last, it's been almost 10 years now, to stick with this business and to continue to grow it despite, the ups and the downs. But last year, something really triggered in me, and I think it's really my passion for helping other people, and just knowing that I have something that can help you, whether or not, I was creating an income from that, I would have shared it. So I just went like 150% all out. And I just motivated my team to really see the bigger picture here. We are in the mission field. We have solutions that help people. And how could we keep that to ourselves in a time like that? So it reminds me of the story of Esther, but in a time like this, how could you keep it to yourself? You have to share this information. And so I think that just created a lot of excitement. A lot of people's, not only did my mindset grow even more, but it helped my team to have a wider vision for what we offer to people. It's not, we don't do this. Yes, it's nice that we do make an income from it, but we also know we offer things that truly help people change their health and for the better. So it just, that pandemic put a fire inside of me saying, listen, people do not have to be in the hospital and sick. I can offer solutions to help them, have a healthier immune function, to maybe help their bodies fight something that is so, is causing so much grief. And, it's just, there was so much sadness, but it gave people hope. So I think that is what triggered the mindset for me.
So it's like the pandemic caused you to get deeply connected to your why and your natural desire to be of service and to give hope. And so for you, that was your way of really contributing to the greater society.
Yeah, I felt like I was actually able to do something with my platform. And so I was just like, how could I not do more than I've ever done? I've done this consistently for the past how many years? Now is the time more than ever that people need to hear this. And so it was just like full on sharing this education with as many people as possible, and having them see there's solutions out there that can help them during this time. So yeah, you the dots together for sure.
Yeah, you know what? That brings back a point. Consistency, passion, and really connecting to your purpose. And when you're doing that, when you're walking in your purpose and you're leading from the intention of serving, amazing things can happen. And so I'm congratulations on really demonstrating that. Now, you mentioned the story of Esther. Make the connection for us.
So in the story of Esther, Esther was the one who had to save her people. She was one of the wives of King, I forgot the name of the king, but she was put in this place, and they didn't know that she was a Jew, but she knew that she had to speak up for her people who they were planning to annihilate. And so her uncle said to her, you were created for a time like this. You're the one who has to stand up to the king, even though most people would never stand up to the king because he would get rid of them, right? So she was made for that time, and she saved her people. And that's how I felt like last year. It's funny that I connected that, but I just felt like I was made for a time like last year, where that pandemic and so many people felt helpless. I felt like I was there to help give hope.
And give hope you did. So you doubled your business, and you actually went back to school and got your health coach certification during the pandemic, yes?
Yes. I became a certified health coach. It's actually funny because all these years of sharing this education, I really am engulfed in the information. I already knew a lot of the information, but I said, it's time for me to get this title because, I think it brings me to another level. So I actually took the time during all the craziness of last year. My kids were home. Everyone was at the house, like learning online. We had, everything just changed. But at the same time, I signed up for a course in the midst of the chaos, but it paid off. So yes, I am now a certified lean health coach. So that refers to lifestyle, exercise, attitude, and nutrition health coach. And so that is just another notch on my belt of things that I can help to offer to people.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So Jacqueline Guzman, hey, Commissioner Guzman, thank you for watching. She says Michelle Fletcher is such a beautiful person inside and out. Love watching her grow her business, such an inspiration. Bonus. Her kids are pretty cool too. Yes, listen, I love your children. They are like two of my favorite humans. Good morning, Mrs. Lopez. Good morning, Mom. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, Jacqueline. She's awesome too.
So speaking of your kids, what was it like having them home for that time?
Ooh. One thing I'm super grateful for is the fact that I've been working virtually for the past almost 10 years. So that part, at least I didn't have to adjust from being in a workplace and now being home and my kids being home. So having them home, it was a bit of an adjustment, but during the summers, they're home and we actually have them do like some further education during the summertime. They know that in the mornings they're doing a little bit of schoolwork before they like get to play and do all these things. So it wasn't too hard of an adjustment. But man, when you have to homeschool, but then you also cannot go to like the regular things you go to, like the park or activities, that's the tough part because you're together all the time. So we used to go for walks around the neighborhood. We would just do different things to kind of like let this, the energy out, and turned out to be, I think those are some of the most memorable moments because they still talk about, oh, remember when we would go for walks? And we kind of really rediscovered our neighborhood, which Melissa is the commissioner of our city of Lauderhill, but we got to rediscover a lot of our neighborhood and walking around and looking at the businesses that were at the time closed. But I think it brought us a bit closer.
Oh, fantastic. You guys walked for me. You walked the neighborhood for me, putting out collateral on the doors. So thank you for campaigning for me as a family. That was really fantastic. They love
supporting you. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. Chance was wearing one of your shirts the other day, and I was like, oh, you're wearing Melissa, like our shirts when we were campaigning for you. We still wear your shirts. We just love it. But I love it. They love to represent you.
We need to schedule a time for them to come by. When the summer hits before they go back to school, we have to schedule a time for them to come by the commission chamber so that they can actually sit in my seat and experience the results of their hard work.
Oh yeah, they're looking forward to that. So trust me, they see you all the time on billboards and they're like, Melissa Dunn, they love you.
So you've spoken about what this pandemic has done for your family and for your business. Talk to me about what's happened with you as a woman in the past year. How are you doing with your self-love and your self-care? How have you been taking care of yourself and keeping your cup full?
Wow. An outlet for me has always been exercise. So when the pandemic hit and gyms were closed, it was like, what? But I've always been able to pivot when it comes to exercise. So that's when we started incorporating the walks. And well, we couldn't really go to the parks for a while because my daughter plays travel soccer. So then I was grabbing weights that I had sitting in the garage. We invested in a few like fitness equipment things. So I really take time to work out because it relieves stress for me. I feel like it brings on those happy endorphins. So even if I could do 30 minutes, I was doing at-home workouts whenever I could. And I was so glad that so many fitness professionals had gone to online fitness trainings and Zooms. That was just amazing. You could do yoga online and it's still going right now. So that is one way. I know I invested a lot of time into reading books last year. I was like, okay, I'm home, I can focus. And I do audibles. So just pouring into learning even more. And then, I spent that time taking a health coaching certification. So I was just taking that downtime to really grow myself so that I could be a better mom, wife, leader for my team, and also for the people that I'm reaching out to all the time. I feel like my communication has gotten a lot better. I've been on so many interviews, and it started with this one right here almost a year ago. It started with the Melissa Dunn Show. And then I was just asked to be on so many. So just getting the message out and being a better public speaker. So now that I reflect, I realized there was a lot of growth that happened last year, and I'm really grateful.
Fantastic. I'm so proud of you, Michelle. You are one of the most amazing women that I know, and I'm really grateful to call you one of my sister friends. So if you could share one or two pieces of wisdom with a woman who is perhaps struggling with getting things done, what would you say to that woman right now?
One of my favorite tips to give people, because I know overwhelm is a thing. People will try to do too much at once, and then what happens is they do nothing at all. So I always say start with one simple change, one doable thing that you can incorporate for like the next 30 days. And just start with that one thing. And if you might fall off for a day, okay, that's fine. You just get back up a day or two later, but start with one change. And so that you won't have that overwhelm that will cause you to shut down on everything, right? So that's like one of my premier tips for people, starting with that one thing and growing from there. Because if you start with one change each month, can you imagine by the end of the year, you have 12 new things that you've incorporated to make you a better you.
Oh, I love that. So I want to share this story with you, right? So you know that I've been on my own health journey. And one of the things that I know really support me is meal prep. But I am one that, even though my mother taught me how to cook, I really don't enjoy it. And I certainly don't enjoy, I just don't enjoy it. I do it if I have to. So for the last 3 months, I've been eating like Atkins frozen food because I'm like, and doing smoothies because I'm like, well, at least I'm still eating something somewhat nutritious, but I'm not preparing it. So today I went back to actually preparing my own food. So after I came back from the gym this morning, I made like steamed broccoli and like stir-fried vegetables like okra and like vegetable medley with, putting seasoning and onions and thyme. And then I made a salmon. And I have right now in the slow cooker some brown stew chicken, so it'll be ready for me, and that'll be my meal prep for this week.
That is awesome. Yes. Oh my gosh. And I see like your face is just lighting up from, doing that one thing, right? You just lit up sharing that. And I love that. Oh my gosh. Yes, we're so proud of her. Is that your mom? I love that.
Thank you. That's my mom. So she really knows what it means. Sometimes she jokes with me, asks me if my stove still works because I don't necessarily turn it on. But so that's a big thing for me. So that is my like next 30 days. At least before I go to California in May on vacation. So that's what I'm going to be doing. That's my one thing, Michelle.
Yes, I love it. It only takes one thing. And I mean, you made I love the variety that you made. I love it.
Fantastic. So if you want to connect with Michelle, could you tell folks how they can reach you?
Yes, you can find me on Facebook under Michelle Fletcher. Simple. If you're connected to Melissa, I'm sure I will pop up very quickly. I'm also on LinkedIn as Michelle Fletcher, health coach. I am also on Instagram as Health Coach Mish. And if you do want to reach me via email. My email is mfletcherjp@gmail.com. There's just so many various ways. I have a YouTube channel, also Michelle Fletcher. So if anything, if you can't find me, reach out to Melissa. She'll be sure to connect us. She's such a great connector.
Fantastic. So I'm going to end the show a little bit early today because we are starting the Lauderhill Health and Prosperity Partnership focus groups this morning, and both Michelle and I need to be there at City Hall this morning. So we're going to end the show a little bit earlier. But before I do, Michelle, I know you are one of the Women Getting It Done members of the Facebook group. Could you share a little bit about your experience in that community?
Absolutely. I love this group. Okay, so I just feel that anything that Melissa does, honestly, is just like at another level. And she's created this group, and there's all these amazing, like positive women that are a part of this group. And some of them are business owners, some of them are just, PhD members. And we all get to glean from Melissa, but then we also get to contribute and congratulate each other when there's successes, cheer each other on. Like, it's such a positive and motivating group to be a part of, and I really enjoy it. And you get to really, I already know, I think more than half the women in there, but you get to network and meet some amazing ladies, which I feel like is so important to have that kind of connection and community. So thank you for doing that, Melissa. I love that group.
Yeah, that's one of the things that came out of the pandemic too, this whole need for connection, because we couldn't go to networking events anymore. And I think that all of us, at least for me, I felt like a sense of heaviness. And I also felt the need to really lean in more and be kinder and be more loving and more present, and creating a community where women wanted the same thing, and creating this show as an outlet for people who wanted the same thing really supported me in my growth. And I'm happy that it supported you as well.
Yes, I'm grateful. Thank you so much.
All right. Good morning, Karen. Good morning. Thank you for watching, Karen. All right. And then Tina says, she just sent you a friend request.
I'll be sure to accept it.
All right. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining me this morning, Michelle, and continued success to you as you grow your business and love on your family. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Be well. Thank you for joining us for this episode of the DunnWisdom Morning Show. If you're a woman who wants to get things done and you want to be connected with other like-minded women, please click on the link in the description, in the caption, to join our free Facebook group called Women Getting It Done. That's Getting It Done, and done is spelled by my last name, D-U-N-N. So I look forward to seeing you in the group and to supporting you as you get your dreams accomplished. So remember, be kind and loving to yourself today. You deserve it.